Welcome to The Sound, KQAL FM's weekly behind-the-scenes look at Midwestern-made music. From writing and recording to distribution and promotion, The Sound is your source for new releases and exclusive interviews from Midwestern artists. Support for The Sound is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Rolling.
Tonight on The Sound, we check out the debut EP 1234 by Wasted. These Winona-based rockers know how to 1. Have a good time, 2. Rock out, 3. Count, and most importantly, 4. Make some banger music. Marcus, Connor, and Amber from the band join us this week to chat about their love for making music and the beauties of the local music scene. I'm Ryan Flanders. Take a seat and get your counting fingers ready and enjoy the stories of Wasted as we listen to their debut EP 1234 tonight on The Sound. And that was just Brain on Fire by Wasted. We got Wasted here in the studio today. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great.
All right, guys. So we'll kind of jump into the questions here. How did you guys get together, and like how long have you guys known each other?
We got together in July of 2023. I had known Connor and I knew Amber from playing around town in other bands. So I'm a drummer in beauties. I wanted to start my own band. I've been writing songs for a while. And I was finally becoming confident enough in my songwriting where I was able to approach people and then try to play them live. So July 2023, and we've kind of just been meeting up every week since then to jam out, make songs. That's what we've been doing.
Yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I guess I'll just kind of expand on that a little bit. Yeah, we our paths crossed, and I'm pretty sure I just blurted out to you like kind of randomly, like, "Hey, Marcus, do you play drums?"
It's something you gotta have a drummer in your back pocket.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. You can't just everybody plays guitar, so it's like you gotta have a drummer.
The average drummers in 4.5 bands, they get stretched thin. You know?
Amber can attest to that.
Yeah, I can definitely.
You're in like 3 bands, aren't you?
Well, four.
Yeah.
4.
I forget
and a
name
half.
Grace.
Yeah. No, but the best thing about Marcus and like how long we've known each other, I don't even know how long it's been, but we did go on a tour together with our 2 bands. It was Busey and the Ultrasounds, and I don't know if it was like 2018, 19.
It was 2018.
Something like that, yeah. And my favorite thing was that Marcus and I were the 2 drummers, so we were like, super close on that trip because we were loading in and out together like a little team, and we both were very excited about the World War I Museum in was it Kansas City or St. Louis? St. Louis?
Kansas
Kansas City. Yeah, so we've got that special drummer bond and that World War I bond as well.
Yeah, that love for World War I.
Yeah, I figured out that she liked World War I, and I was like, this is the coolest person ever. We're gonna talk for hours about tanks and trench combat and just like all this gnarly stuff. It was great. It was so much fun.
Then we're gonna go like play some drums together.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right?
We're gonna go blast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been great to kind of like see how this is all built up to where it is now. Because you and I have like jammed pretty casually for like when did we first start jamming? Was that like 22?
It was 2021.
Okay.
So we started jamming pretty shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
I feel like it had to have been fall of 2021 and maybe spring of 2022.
Yeah.
Which seems a lot longer ago than it was because COVID happened and then
Right.
it just
It took a while for like
sense
that
of
to kind of
time.
get going and
Exactly,
stuff
but
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's been years now.
Yeah.
It's crazy to say that how time flies. It's just been totally nuts. But it was me drumming, Connor playing guitar. That's how we met.
Yeah, and we would just like hang out, have jams. We recorded a couple of demos in the process of just like random ideas that I had sitting around, just having fun more than anything else. And then
Nerding out
kinda,
over gear and microphones,
Yeah,
recording
yeah.
techniques and stuff. Because we both like recording and stuff
Yes.
too, and just all that kind of stuff, bonding over that.
we were commenting on the wonderful Neumann mics
Yeah.
that we were recording this
I
with.
remember.
These are fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I wish I had these.
Yeah.
What we're speaking into right now.
Top line stuff.
It's a nice setup in here.
Yeah,
I like it.
and then it worked out pretty well for me because my last band Swashbuckler ended right around the time that you texted me that you needed a bass player for your new project.
Yes.
So the stars just kind of aligned, and with you, it was nice to kind of get back in a jam situation with you too, because Amber and I played for a short period of time in a band called Wheel of Fortune. Was that 18 or 19?
Maybe 2019.
I think it was 2019.
Wheel of Fortune was awesome. What was that song you showed me? I forget. It was-
Polarity.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, that
So
one's
good.
I like that one. Yeah, so almost 5 years later now came back around and we're in a band again, and it's awesome.
I didn't know that until like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, they finally told me, and I was like, that's Winona for you right
pretty
there.
much. Pretty much.
So what other experience, you guys are talking a lot about your bands, if you guys just want to like kind of like throw out all of like your experience that you guys have. I know you guys have all played in a lot of bands.
Yeah, so I started drumming when I was a teenager. My first band was a band called the Soviet Machines, and so
That's a good name.
it was honestly the most punk rock thing about that band. We thought we were punk rockers, but it was very not punk rock. It was very like rockish, kind of garagey, but yeah, man, we were pretty successful. We did a lot of Battle of the Bands. We wound up opening for Quiet Drive at First Avenue in like 2008. We got to play the entry several times in Minneapolis, so those are like super historic and like really, really enjoyed that quite a bit. I actually, one of my COVID projects was meeting back up with the lead singer, and then we recorded a record with Jack and Dino in Seattle, and then we recorded with Steve Albini in Chicago. But anyway, long story short, that band folded. I then joined San Dimas, which was a great band. They don't have anything recorded. I think there's no surviving recordings of that band, but that was a band from like 2011. I was in it for like a year and a half, up until about I think they made it to 2015, 2016, which forays into Busey, the band I drum in now, because I met the guitarist in San Dimas. He is the guitarist and lead singer in Busey. So a lot of connections made, played tons of places in Minneapolis, grew up in the cities, but love it down here. Fantastic town, Winona. It's just great. I love the sense of community. It's small enough so I feel like you can make an impact. Sometimes in those bigger places, it's like, I mean, it's really nice being cosmopolitan. There's tons to do and there's tons to see, but that can be kind of difficult in some instances too if you're really trying to get like attention or book gigs or et cetera, et cetera. So Winona has treated me really well. That's my music experience. Now I'm in Wasted.
Let's see. I'll try to keep this kind of quick. I mean, musically, I started playing piano when I was around like 5-6 years old. My parents started getting me lessons, and then around 10, 11 years old is when I started picking up guitar. A few things happened around the time that I was 10. I heard Eruption by Van Halen. I saw School of Rock, and wonderful movie. And my dad started teaching me some basic chords on the guitar that he had laying around the house. And it just all clicked. And around that same time, I also started playing percussion in concert bands and jazz bands in school and stuff like that. So drumming and guitar both kind of came around the same time when I was like 10 or 11 years old, and more or less I've developed more into a guitar player with a little bit of a drumming backbone.
Great rhythm.
That's honestly the biggest gift of like practicing drums and stuff like that. It's just I've been locking with other drummers really easily. I think where am I going from that? So as far as playing in bands, I think I got in my first band when I was in 8th or 9th grade. My cousin Christopher and I started a metal band called No Blood, No Alibi. And
What a good name.
Dude, that is an amazing name. Especially for like
credit goes to Christopher for that one. Yeah.
14, 15 years old. That's like, that's super badass. That's super metal.
Well, to like slight tangent about that band, my cousin Christopher always has had this like grand idea for like a metal concept record in the works ever since he was like 12.
Wow. Okay.
And it's gone through like several demo phases and iterations, and just within the last couple of years he assembled a new band called Last Shot at Redemption, and they're working on their debut right now, and it's a lot of ideas that I've seen develop over the course of years now, just from like listening to his stuff. He's had this vision for so long. So that was my first big project, was one that he and I started together with some other friends of his that became friends of mine, and then did that for a couple of years. And then in high school I was in a band called Hutchinson. We played like pop punk emo music, and the most notable thing about that band probably is that 2 of the members went on to do other local Winona bands, and they're largely responsible for getting me out here too. Jake Nielsen is the bass player for Cry Chop Silence, and then Tyler Steinley drums in Sleeping Jesus and Flatus and many others. They were in my high school pop punk band.
Cool. I didn't know that Tyler was hanging around. He's from
Yeah, we're all from Lakeville.
God.
Yeah,
Wow,
we all went to
world.
Lakeville North together, so Jake and I were in the same grade. Tyler was 1 grade below us.
Okay.
Yeah, Hutchinson needed a new guitar player, and No Blood, No Alibi had just broken up at the time, so easy entrance there.
Right
I
in,
knew the right people. Yeah, so fast forward a few years, I went to college out in Mankato, didn't really do anything musically out there, just got my degree and then left. And came out here because Jake and Tyler were living at a place that had a vacancy and they needed somebody to fill it. They knew that I wanted to play music and be in a band, so here I am.
Slid right in again.
Yeah. And then that's just, I feel like that's just kind of like the recurring theme. Like it's just right place, right time, meet the right people. Shortly after I moved to Winona, I was hanging around the house and my buddy Louis Miller came over, and he and I jammed a little bit, played some Zeppelin, and shortly after that he asked me to be in his new band Swashbuckler. So just kind of worked out again that way. And then Swashbuckler became my main project for about 4 or 5-ish years or so after that. Wheel of Fortune was for about a month or so during that time.
Something like that, yeah.
Had a couple rehearsals with you guys, played on a couple songs, and then committed to Swashbuckler full time. And then that took an interesting hiatus during lockdown. Just like, shows went away, everybody quarantined and locked down for a little while. So Swashbuckler was inactive for like 9-10 months of the pandemic. So during that time, I just kind of went into like songwriter mode for 8 or 9 months or something like that. I was just kind of like, all right, I got nowhere to be, nothing to do. I'm just gonna like write a song every day and get really good at that.
That's a good use of your time.
It was probably the best thing I could have done for myself in retrospect. I like some days got really intense where it was like 8-9 hours of just like practicing guitars, working on songs, and learning how to record too. That was also where I developed my interest in like microphones and recording setups and things like that. It was during lockdown that I learned how to. I learned about things like phase, and just like
huge stuff.
just like the basics that you need to know for recording and stuff. And then since lockdowns opened up again, Swashbuckler played a bunch of shows for about 1.5 years, and then that ended, and I got the text from Marcus that he needed a bass player for Wasted, and then here I am with that. And outside of Swashbuckler and Wasted, over the last couple years, I've been slowly trying to dip my toe into recording other bands. Just a few weeks ago, maybe about a month or so, I helped Afflatus record their upcoming record. I don't know if they have a name for it picked out or anything yet, but we had a recording session where we just got together for a weekend, and I helped them set up microphones and ran the electronic equipment, like the computer and the recording gear and stuff like that, while they just did live takes. And I'm really psyched for that project. I think it turned out so well. Just it's not even mixed yet. I've only heard raw audio, and I'm just like, this sounds amazing.
Nice. Can't wait to hear that, man. It's gonna be super awesome.
And then other than that, Jackson Ramslin, who also played bass in Swashbuckler with me and Wheel of Fortune as well, he and I are also working on a number of songs together for a project that he's calling Joe Pie Weed. We have a title or an untitled album in the works. No release date or anything for that yet, but it's in the works. We'll see what happens with that.
Working around.
Yeah.
Everybody in this band is in like several other bands.
Yeah.
We're all extremely hardworking on our craft and stuff. It's really cool to me. I think it's super awesome.
Yeah. The only other project I want to shout out quick, it's I don't know if it has a name for it, but just some local friends and I get together like every couple of weeks or so and just have acoustic jams, drink a few beers, and play covers. And over the course of like a year or so, these originals started entering these jams, and we started piecing them together and making recordings. So over the last few months, we've amassed like 6 songs or so that we just kind of like, we just have these now. It's like, maybe we should do something. And the conversations come up of like doing a live show of some sort, maybe putting out some recordings. So again, like another project doesn't have a name yet even. We'll see what comes of that, but it's just just a few different projects in the works all at once. Just kind of having fun with it.
How about you, Amber?
Okay, kind of same story. Played music my whole life. Did all the band, jazz, rock bands in high school. But then since moving to Winona, the Ultrasounds has been like my longtime band. But other than that, I've played with the Old Fashions, Amanda Grace, Wheel of Fortune. I'm probably forgetting something. I'm in the Reach Outs, Radium Girls, and Wasted.
Yeah.
Drummers. Like you said, like just get stretched out to like 5 different bands.
It's so important. It's far and few between, and it's a loud one. You can't. I mean, you can turn it down, I guess. I mean, you can kind of hit softer, but like generally speaking, it's just
it's very, very important part of the band.
Moral of the story: Amber rules.
All right.
And Connor. I'm not trying to cut you shit. Everybody in this room is good.
Marcus is really good too.
We'll throw that out
I don't know
there.
about that. But okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
buddy.
So on that note, we'll get into the next song now. We got Guff coming up. You're listening to the sound here on 89.5 KQAL. And that was just Guff by Wasted. We got Wasted in the studio here having a little chat, guys.
Hello.
Hi. They're still
From
here. They haven't
radio.
left yet. Yeah. All right. Let's see. We're getting into the next one. I should have read this before I started talking, but that's okay. Like I said, pre-recorded.
Editing.
I should leave this all in now, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You gotta leave that in.
I'll say, hey, editor, cut this.
Cut it.
Yeah, cut it.
I'm listening to a podcast right now where that's a recurring bit. That they keep having like technical errors and stuff like that.
They just keep going.
Yeah, and they just like keep going, and someone's just like, "This is all gonna stay in. We're gonna make comments to cut this, but it's not gonna
That's
happen."
good, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
All right. So, what is your guys' like favorite part about kind of playing the local scene, especially here around Winona, cities area, wherever you guys play? Where have you guys played? Where's the farthest you've gone?
Good question. I guess the furthest from Winona, I guess, would be probably Duluth or something like that. Yeah, probably Duluth. As far as like the local scene and playing, well, I just like the fact that I can walk to a venue that is really good. I live within walking distance of a no-name bar, so I don't know. It's just kind of like a luxury, I guess, of the town that I can perform at a nice venue that I don't need to like worry about staying out super late after the gig and having a multi-hour drive back home or crashing at a stranger's house or something like that. I can sleep in my own bed. I can probably walk if I want to.
Don't even have to get an Uber. Like,
don't even have to get an Uber or anything like that. Yeah, it's just nice. And a lot of familiarity among the crowd and other bands. You know, a lot of musicians play in the same groups as each other. Just like thinking about like the Flatus recording session. Flatus and Swashbuckler have the exact same lineup. You just swap me out for Spencer. All the other members are the exact same. There are just so many bands around town that are like that. So you get familiar with each other as people. You get familiar with each other's catalog. And yeah, it's good variety, too, among the bands. They don't sound like each other, which is nice. You got everything from like kind of a dream pop indie sound to Sleeping Jesus to more of an up-tempo, dancey rock pop thing that Karate Chop Silence has going.
Rock.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I've ever actually seen the Reach Outs.
That's cool. You can see us next week, I guess, maybe.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. Yeah.
Cool. I think the farthest from Winona I've played, I don't know, Pittsburgh maybe, but I've played a lot of cities of, in that direction and down in the direction of like St. Louis, Kansas City. But as far as the scene here goes, what I like about playing Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, kind of like this little area, is it's a very close-knit scene. So you get to know all the bands, all the people, and so it's just been years of just really associating with people and all the iterations of musical projects that they have, so that's cool.
I was gonna say, my favorite thing about the Winona kind of music scene is, the people, for sure. Just because like I've lived in other places, there are tons of musicians here, and honestly, like they're so nice and giving with more than just music. People are willing to share gear. They're offering up gigs. It seems like, and I mean this in the best possible way, it's a small town, but you can make things happen pretty easily if you want them to.
And very cross-genre, too, in that respect.
Very much so. And, you're going to get a diverse bill every single time you see bands play. It's not going to be the same thing consistently. I feel like the city has kind of come to embrace, the arts, which is a big thing. Not every city does that. Having a college youth culture here, I think, really helps kind of foster that. For sure. So definitely, I think that's a big takeaway from Winona. It's a very nice, happy bubble. Yeah. Where as long as you're not a complete jerk, you're probably gonna make some friends, and you're probably gonna play in some bands or see some bands. Right. It's really nice that way. As far as places that I played, is the farthest out west I've gotten is St. Louis. I got to play Chuck Berry's club, the Duck Room, when he was still alive in 2009. I was like 17. That was really cool. And then I've gotten to play Boston. I've gotten to play New York. I played New York with the Meat Puppets. I opened for the Meat Puppets there. That was probably one of the cooler gigs I played.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yet you come back to Winona still.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
just-
dude. I mean,
Yeah,
I
no.
can't. I mean, I'm a small town kind of person.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, for sure. Like I'm 32. I enjoy these types of environments. You know, the cities have a lot to offer, and I would never obviously badmouth, especially a place like Minneapolis, St. Paul. Those are fantastic cities. If you've traveled to other metropolitan areas, this state is amazing in so many different ways. But yeah, you know, you live a good life here.
Yeah.
You can't beat
Yeah.
that type of vibe, and you know, it's really nice because you can live here and live a good life, and then on top of it, you can go to shows every weekend if you want to.
No, I mean, to tell a little story of my own now, I actually,
Yeah.
my cousin and her friend just came in this past weekend. I had them out, had a good time in that. And they both, up cities. We're all from Austin, which is a similar sized town.
Sure.
But they went to the cities for college so they know like the Minneapolis, Dinkytown kind of area.
Oh.
I was like, you guys need to come down to Winona and see what it's like here. They were like amazed at like everything going on. I was like, yeah, no, like just about every weekend I come down here to No Name.
Yeah.
Like just listen to music.
It's fun.
Like,
It's super fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's always something going on. It's like what was it? The sign was like every second Wednesday of the month at Blooming Grounds. There's somebody who's playing there. This is like you don't get that in a lot of places like this.
Right. Well, the thing with Dinkytown, not to go off on a tangent here, is they had the Kitty Cat Club, which was a super cool place, and it was super easy to get gigs there if you were a local musician. But like that's gone now. I think that was a casualty of the pandemic. I just don't think that they were getting many people going to it and stuff, and so. Yeah, man, you got No Name here. That's like the hub, dude. That's the place to be. That is like where things happen musically around here, which is a really, really cool thing to have. You need one of those things. Every town needs a place where that happens, essentially, if you want live music. And so, yeah, man, tell them to move down here.
Yeah, right? So it's great. It's beautiful. You'll love it.
I mean, it's the reason I moved here.
The nature, and like the music.
The nature of the music, because my friends came out here for college and formed awesome bands, and I was like, well, I want to do that.
I can do that. I want to do that. I am going to do that.
So I did it.
Place to be.
Yeah, that's the thing about Winona is like you just like put yourself out there, talk to people, make it known that you can play something. I don't think you even need to like show anybody that you can play something. Just tell people and you'll eventually end up on stage.
Totally.
So I should tell you guys I can play like the kazoo or something like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, we would love to have you playing kazoo on stage. Yeah, just let me know and I'll put you. You'll be a part of it. You'll be an honorary member. And then, you know, you'll get up there. I'll give you a tambourine.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, tambourine. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll be back there. I don't know. Do you guys know what Ray Cooper is?
No,
He played percussionist. He Elton John is where I know him from.
Okay, sure.
So
Yeah,
he's
okay, he's
just
good.
crazy. If you ever like look up videos of Ray Cooper, the guy just goes freaking nuts on the tambourine. It's insane.
Well, you got to on the tambourine.
Yeah.
Dude, you're going to be our Ray Cooper is what you're going to be. It's on record here, so you've heard it first on KQAL.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. This just
Man,
in.
this-
At least it adds member percussionist.
Sorry, Bill. I got to move on from this job. I'm pursuing my my new career in playing the tambourine.
Totally. When did you God, what a sweet gig.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Yeah.
you'd ever get bored. I don't know.
How could you? All right, and so you guys have talked a lot about kind of the work you do with other bands, especially you, Connor. And you guys mentioned this to me, I think, before we started recording. What is your guys' kind of creative process, your rehearsal process look like for you, like in this band and just personally?
Yeah, so I'll go first. I am a very routine-oriented person. I have a wife, I have a child. I need like routines. I don't have a ton of time in the world to like just kind of be fumbling around. So I get up at 5 every morning and I play guitar for like an hour. I try to allot that time in the morning before going into work. And I try to do that every day. Like it may happen 5 times a week, but it's usually 4 to 5 times, at least an hour. If I have free time, then I'll be practicing scales and stuff. Now, I'm not a virtuoso by any means, but I'm trying to improve as a player.
Yep.
So, you know, you got to put the time in. And then I will, you know, of course, coordinate with my wife, who is very, very cool. I love you, Cayenne. Thank you for letting me come here. But drums are kind of hard once again because they're very loud, and so it's like you can't do that in the morning. You have to do that in the evening. Fortunately, I have extremely cool neighbors, so a couple days out of the week, I will plug in at least an hour for drums. I'll start with rudiments. I'll do that for like 15 minutes, honing your skills, keeping up your chops, and then sometimes I'll have free form where I'll just do whatever I want for 45 minutes to an hour with a metronome, always playing to a click to keep timing and stuff. You got to keep up your chops. But I'll do that, and then I'm in another band, but they're in Minneapolis. So what I'll do, I've memorized the songs, how they go, so I will practice to a click to stay up and in tune with them, essentially. So when we meet up, I can just go, and then I can rip it. We make it a point to practice a minimum once a week, 2 hours. Like that is what we do consistently. I've always in this band had an attitude, time is the most valuable resource you can have. We're adults now, we have jobs, we have families, like it's very limited. So to ask someone to commit to a couple hours a week, it's a big deal. So thank you guys. But any time additionally that I can get from them, if it's a Sunday afternoon and we have a little bit of time, like I'll try to do that. For me, I try to keep an open door policy where it's like anybody who can make it, come on over, we'll work on songs. A lot of times we just hang out and talk and stuff too. This is a band of friends essentially, but like there's a clear cut path routine that we follow, which is kind of unique. Most bands are just like whatever, we're just gonna do whatever whenever if it works, and like I just I'm totally a control freak. I'm not trying to be control freak, but it's like that's what I need. That's what a successful band
The three of
needs.
us are not those kinds of people.
Exactly.
We are very structured and like routine.
I'm very fortunate. I think every personality in this band really meshes up very well, and it's very oriented. We are very organized. We're ready to go. Like there's no screwing around.
Yeah, that's cool. That's one.
Yeah, I guess my creative process, my working routine kind of varies depending on the project. Swashbuckler was pretty routine and schedule oriented. Typically, like Wasted, meet for once a week or so, practice for a couple hours. One big difference between Swashbuckler and Wasted is definitely songwriting, where Swashbuckler was a jam band. Someone would come in with like a riff, a part of a song, or like maybe a whole song figured out for their part. And then we would just play it over and over again, and people would be given just like an open space to fill up with their part. They could just do whatever they wanted. And with Wasted, we're basically getting full demos from Marcus of completed songs recorded with drums, rhythm guitars, lead guitars, bass guitars. So it's as far as like the creativity goes in this band, Marcus is the visionary. He is definitely the captain with his hands on the wheel, guiding the ship of Wasted. And the rest of us are just kind of mostly just responsible for learning the songs and having our creative input when we feel it suits the song. Yeah. We've all had a few moments where we've added a little something here or there. But Marcus is definitely guiding that vision. And yeah, I feel like that's kind of been my most comfortable role in bands over the years, is being not necessarily the creative vision, but like someone who's helping out, who's helping another artist bring their vision to fruition through more technical means, like developing guitar parts that might be a little outside the box, or learning how to record and how to prepare and mix a song, how to arrange a recording so it sounds massive when it comes out of the speakers and stuff, and learning those little tricks. And as far as routine goes and stuff like that, Wasted, it's awesome because it's just once a week, every Wednesday typically, sometimes on Sundays if we can make it happen. The Afflatus sessions over the last month or so have been pretty routine. That's like every Tuesday night, and those are fun for me because
it's completely different.
It's totally different. I don't play for those sessions. They just brought me on board as Afflatus was getting towards the end of the writing process for this record. They brought me in to provide feedback and critique the songs and like offer suggestions, which I didn't have to say too much. Just kind of tweaks like a couple parts here and there, but they had it all figured out. And then I was just there to engineer the recording, set up the microphones, and just kind of help run the session. So that was fun. I felt like it was the first time that I ever felt like significantly involved in a record that I didn't play on. I never picked up an instrument the whole time, which was very new for me. But I still felt like I had some creative input just through words, just like pointing out little things, just like, hey, you're playing that, play this instead, try that.
You're a producer.
Yeah.
I'm a conductor.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit here.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I'm like completely a recording dork. Like love recording. Part of the reason I started like writing songs was basically to record them, to like get better with like miking techniques, like acoustics, stuff like that. So, as Connor had said, I will like complete a demo, drums, bass, guitar, whatever is needed. I'll do percussion, like whatever is required of the song. But I will throw it out to them as performers and like be like, most of the time it is learning the song, but I always really enjoy it when they alter it. I want them to kind of alter it and put their spin on it, because I'm not like trying to have a band where it's just like 3 or 4 other people like me exactly. Like I don't like to be dictatorial in those types of situations.
And that's where I changed my approach. In the beginning, I was nervous because he's a drummer and I'm a drummer. I felt, and he would make these recordings, I felt more pressure to do exactly what he was thinking, which made it nerve-wracking. So I kind of stopped, no offense, listening to your demos, because I'm like, I'll kind of listen to them once to get the sense of how the song goes, because that's how I learn. My process in all my groups is the same, where a lot of my process takes place away from my instrument. It's more so in my head, understanding like the structure of the song, the melodies, and then what, like, what's going to be my like rhythmic motif in that song. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about that outside of like practice or away from my instrument. And then when I go to practice, I kind of want to have that 100% like down and solidified. Do you know what I mean? And I've gotten much braver, not being so worried about how I know Marcus drums, like how his style is, and like trying to bring my style to his vision, if that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah. I'm as far as drums go, I'm a power player where I'm like hitting them as hard as I can, and it's very simple. It's as simple as possible. And Amber is very much like the opposite of that. She has a lot of finesse, and there's a lot of like intricacies in it, which is really cool. She's obviously very good at drumming. Connor is like an unbelievably good bass player. Like he just picked it up and then took it on like seemingly out of nowhere, and like he's just adapted so good, and like he's playing the bass as a guitar player, but he's like once again going back to his roots, like extremely good with rhythm. So it's like 3 rhythm players in this band.
The other interesting thing is Marcus has forced me to simplify, in that he has decided exactly how many pieces I will drum with. So he has a drum setup, and that's what I use. So I've actually really enjoyed that, because it's been a fun challenge for me to, one, not only stress about playing to how I think exactly you play, like playing in my style, but in my style for Wasted, and doing that on a simplified drum kit.
It was one of the
so that's fun.
It's one of the only stipulations I had.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when it comes down to it, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to take components of songs, and then we're trying to boil them down to their basic structure. Like it's simplification over simplification. It's not, I'm a firm believer musically, like with this project specifically, not all music, but like just because you add notes to something doesn't improve upon it. In fact, I think a lot of times in situations it can detract from the product. So for Amber specifically, I always thought it was super cool just from an aesthetic thing, where a drummer has like a kick drum, a floor tom, a snare, and like a hi-hat and like a cymbal. I think the first band I saw do that was like Pink Spiders, if you remember them from like the mid-2000s.
That's a callback. I never listened to their stuff, but I remember seeing their CD on the rack at my local library.
I liked them.
It was the ugliest album cover I'd ever seen.
It
Just
was
pink and black. I thought it was so gross.
It was pretty bad.
But I did check them out years later. They're pretty good. Those songs are good.
They make really good pop songs, and so like I like the aesthetic too, where I'm like, and it just over time, once again, it's like as a player, I just want to simplify stuff. Let's just the more you simplify it, the more vibe you can get, the more energy you can put into a song, and then you don't have to think as much about performing or perfecting the part.
And that's been a huge thing for me joining this band. Has been the simplification's been so much fun for me because my last band, Swashbuckler, was like a jammy progressive rock band with 10-minute songs that would go through 4 or 5 distinct sections and a lot of complex playing. This band, it's like I one thing that I like, every song in of itself is pretty simple, but every song is doing its own thing. You know, they don't feel the same when I play them. They feel like very different songs. And like effects wise, sound wise, with Swashbuckler, I would use this digital amp that's got a ton of built-in effects that basically let me do whatever I want and just create these distinct soundscapes for every single song. In Wasted, modified modified bass guitar plugs straight into a broken PV amp. And it's like the sound.
It's ripping.
Yeah.
It does one thing and one thing only, and it does it really well.
My dad found that bass amplifier on Craigslist for free, and we got there. It was like March, and it was sitting in a pile of snow on the street.
Wow.
Yeah, and I play this cheap Silvertone bass guitar that my buddy Louie modified. He's a luthier. He builds guitars in his free time, pretty much. And he had a spare guitar pickup sitting around, and he was like, okay, I got this P bass I'm not doing anything with. I'm going to drill a hole in that, slap this pickup in there, and see what it sounds like. He sold that to me a little later on because I loved how it sounded, and that's what I used in Wasted.
That's the pickup that he uses. Like,
it's the pickup that I use. It's not made for a bass guitar either. It's made for a regular electric guitar, so it doesn't. It sounds. The original.
Yeah, it sounds like,
I love it. I love it. So,
it's technically not right, but that's the best part.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
It fits.
Yeah.
It's the wrong pickup playing into a broken amp. Like, and I love it. It's one of the sickest sounds I've ever gotten out of a bass in my life.
It's pretty gnarly. There's a couple people who came to me and they're like, hey, can we borrow your bass head? I'm like, there is no bass head. It's Connor playing the bass the way he plays it through a bunch of broken gear. It's fantastic.
One thing that actually irritated me a couple days ago at our last practice, his other band Busey had rehearsed on that amp, and they messed around with the settings on it, so it sounds different now.
Yeah, that's all screwed up.
Thanks. So the recording is
all last rehearsal. We're just like messing with dials, and this amp's broken, so you turn a dial too much, it just starts shrieking at you, and it's
like space. It's like
this ungodly shrieking sound. So you gotta be really careful with like where you're dialing it.
Find those sounds on the next EP, right?
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, exactly.
The next EP is gonna start our experimental phase.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, we should just put like 5 seconds of us like screwing around with it. It'd be funny. Nobody would know what it was but us, and then
totally. Yeah.
Nighthawk.
Nighthawk first.
Is that from Mortal Kombat? Is that a reference to Mortal Kombat?
Nighthawk?
Yeah.
No, it's Step Brothers.
Nice. That was my first guess, but I'm like, maybe he knows the Mortal Kombat character. But yeah, dude, you have to call me, what is it? I want you to call me Nighthawk.
You have to call me Dragon. Well, you have to call me Nighthawk. Okay. I've had that's been my joke since I saw that when I was 9.
Dude, it's so funny. At one point, I had that memorized. It's so quotable. It was like memes before there were memes.
Yeah, right?
You know, if you didn't know like the Step Brother quotes, you weren't like cool. It's so good.
Yeah.
All right, we better get into the next song here. Up next, we got Try It Again by Wasted. You're listening to The Sound here on 89.5 KQAL.
Tell me again.
And that was just Try It Again by Wasted here on 89.5 KQAL. We got Wasted here in the studio today. I'm going to wrap things up here with you guys. So, guys, what do you guys have planned? What's coming down the line for you three coming up?
Well, actually, Marcus, I'll let you answer that one. Yeah.
So on March 2nd, Saturday, 2024, we are playing at No Name. It's going to be a great lineup. It's going to be a Hem from Minneapolis. They're kind of like a poppy rock band, 90s vibes. Fantastic. It's going to be their debut show in Winona. Amber's going to be drumming for them.
No, actually, I'm not anymore. I'll just be with the Reach Outs that night. Their drummer can make it now, which is good because I don't have to learn more songs. So.
that is very good to know. But yeah, no, and then I have to drum twice as hard and stuff too. But anyway, check them out. They're fantastic. They're on every type of social media platform. All these bands are. The Reach Outs, local, awesome surf rock, punk, pop punk band. They're going to be there. Busey, just straight up noise rock band pretty much. And then Battery Eyes, kind of like a post-punk band from Minneapolis. They're really popular right now. They're very, very good. They're making a splash in Minneapolis. Check the bill out. Saturday, March 2nd, 2024 at No Name. Be there, or I will find you.
And then our next one's what, April 13th? Is that
Our
what it
next
is?
Wasted show is going to be an all-ages show at Anthem Skate Park, which is on Saturday, April 13th, 2024. It's going to be the first time that Anthem's having a show there. We have the Reach Outs confirmed on there. The music's going to be from 7 to 10. It's going to be $5. So it's an all-ages show. Anybody can go. Everybody's welcome. It's a benefit for the outdoor skate park here. So support your local skate park. Support Anthem. Definitely come to that show. We're super excited for that. There should be another band. I'm hoping to get another band on the bill. So if you are a band and you're listening to this and you want a gig, especially if you're underage, hit Wasted Up on Facebook Messenger, and then we can arrange that. We have another gig confirmed on, I forget the date. It's Midwest Music Fest.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
We're on the Friday, yeah.
It's the Friday of Midwest
May
Music
10th.
Fest.
23rd? Or no, the 10th.
May 10th, yeah.
Yeah. Where
May
did I get that
10th,
from?
2024. Wasted will be playing at Peter's Beer Garden in Winona. Once again, all ages show, Midwest Music Fest. Be there. It's going to be awesome. Bring everyone.
Awesome. And then new music-wise, it sounds like you guys are definitely at work right now, so we got that.
We're gonna be doing our next extended play. We're into EPs and stuff, but we're gonna be doing that in my basement in Winona. That's the plan. It's gonna be super punk rock. It's gonna be really raw, kind of Steve Albini-esque. So we're gonna start recording that at the beginning of April, and so we're super stoked for that. We're looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more time to prep it and then release it sometime in September or October is what I plan on. We are currently pressing up the first EP that we just released digitally, so that's going to be coming out here within the next couple months. Hit us up at a show, come to a show, see how we're doing.
Yeah.
Support your local music scene, support your local establishments.
And trust me, you want to see these guys live. They're great.
We're a live band, man. Like,
For sure.
our recording sounds fantastic. My buddy Dan, bandmate, recorded in Minneapolis, but we are a very good live band. This is 100. You're going to have more fun seeing us live than you would listening to the EP, but it's good.
Yeah. Still listen to the EP. Still listen to the EP. All right, guys. And where can people find more if they'd like to?
We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. Those are the best ways to kind of get a hold of us. We are open to gigging if you are a venue. If we'll play almost anywhere, even if it's like an unorthodox place, like just hit us up, message us. We like weird stuff. We'll play anywhere if it's the right type of conditions for sure. But Facebook, Instagram, we are on Spotify, we are on Apple Music, we're on all streaming platforms. So definitely hit us up. Bandcamp, we're on Bandcamp too. So definitely support us through Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, anything. Any listen really does help us out.
Awesome. Well, any other thoughts you guys would like to leave on?
You're listening to KQAL.
89.5.
Yeah, 89.5. Woo! That was great. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. This is a great time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much. It was awesome, Ryan.
Thank you. And now we got Crushed coming up by Wasted. You're listening to The Sound here on 89.5 KQAL.
Woo!
Thanks again to Wasted for joining us tonight on The Sound. To hear more from Wasted, check out their EP 1234 on your preferred music streaming service, or find them on Facebook and Instagram at Wasted Music. And don't forget to go see Marcus and Amber this Saturday, March 2nd, 2024 at No Name Bar. For more deep dives into local and regional albums, tune into The Sound every Wednesday night at 6, right here on 89.5 KQAL. You can also listen to past episodes of The Sound on your favorite streaming services. Find links at kqal.org. I'm Ryan Flanders, and we've been jamming out to 1234, the debut EP by Wasted on The Sound.
Thanks for listening to The Sound. The Sound is produced by KQAL FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us online at kqal.org. Theme music for The Sound provided by Mike Terrell of Fires of Denmark.